Hello and welcome to this video presented by Advanced Data Business Systems. ADBS has been developing enterprise software since 1981 for small to large organizations. This is the Advanced Development Shell Series and I am Thomas Wade Gonder. I will be presenting this video on how to install the ADS evaluation file. This is video number 1003 in the ADS series. This is a list of the topics that will be covered in this video. Pause and review it if you wish. Keep in mind that we support installing the evaluation on a Windows 10 or later computer that has Office 2016 or later with 64-bit Office. If it works on an older version of Access that you may have, well then, it's a happy doodah day. In the future, we will limit support to the current version of Access and one previous, as well as Office 365. If you haven't already requested the evaluation file from Advanced Data Business Systems, here's the email with which you can do that. It's not mandatory, but it would be nice for me to know your name and what kinds of applications you are interested in. The eval delivery email that you receive from us will have some general instructions, some links to helpful websites, and of course the zip file that will contain the few files that you will need to unzip onto your computer, as well as a README PDF. Reading the PDF completely may save you some install grief. More on that in a moment. Before you can save and unzip the attached file, you will need a place to put it. I would recommend creating a subdirectory somewhere in your normal user file structure. I do not recommend putting it on your desktop. Later, we will need to trust this subdirectory, and you do not want to do that for every database you might place on your desktop. I suggest creating a folder called ADBS under some place where you put your programming projects. You can create a parallel directory at the same time for any testing or future development you might want to do in Access. Here's an example of me creating folders. I would go to my C drive and double-click on it. Scroll down to Users, double-click on it, go to the user account that I have, which for me is Thomas, and I would go up here to New, click the down arrow, and Folder, and put Programming. I would double-click on the Programming and then create a new folder called Access. Double-click on it and create a new folder called ADBS. You can also create one for yourself. A new folder, we'll just call it Joe Blow. Now you have a place to save the file attached to the email into the ADBS folder. Let's save the eval file I have in the draft email. We will scroll down to the bottom of the email, click on the zip file that is there, save it as, we'll go to Thomas and Programming, Access, ADBS, and place the zip file there with a save. How you unzip the file would depend on the particular zip program installed on your Windows computer. Here I will unzip the file into the same ADBS folder. So I double-click on the zip file, go to Extract All. I don't want to put it in another subfolder, so I'll just backspace all the way to the backslash and click Extract. And now, in the ADBS subdirectory, I have all of the files that I need, including the README. The README PDF is now in the ADBS folder. It explains a lot about the ADS, its legal and support policies, origins, design concepts, and information on the Developers Guild. Most developers interested in this evaluation will already have Access 2016, 64-bit or newer installed on their computer. However, there may be some people new to databases or Access that may not have the full version of Access installed on their particular Office suite. They can still run the evaluation by using the Access runtime. Here's a reference to Richard Rost's website. You can go there and learn all you need about installing the runtime on your computer. We are back here in Thomas Programming Access ADBS. Let's see what happens if I try to run the ACCDE eval file. I'll double click on it. If an Access database file has any code attached to it, newer versions of Office have gotten quite picky on when to allow Office documents to open. There can be an automatic security violation, and an Access database might not be allowed to run. Sometimes there is an enable button, but at times there will be a stoppage so complete that it will require adding a trusted location to allow execution of the database. Richard Rost has another great video on this. If following my example in this video doesn't work for your version of Access, then I suggest viewing Richard's video. To add the folder created just a moment ago as a trusted location, you can do this. Open Access and go to Options. On the bottom left, you can see Trust Center. Click on it. Click on Trust Center Settings. Now click on Trusted Locations. Click on Add a new location. Browse to the location you just created. Go down to Users, select Thomas, scroll down to Programming, Access, ADBS, and click OK. And you can click on subfolders of this location are also trusted. Click OK, 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 and now we should be able to run our ACCDE file. Yay! We're going to log in as user E5566 with a password of 9999. We'll hit Tab, Enter, and then look up here at Name. It says your name. We're going to adjust that. Go ahead and click Continue, and we are into the menus. There will be other videos referenced at the end of this one that explain the login and menus more thoroughly. After logging in and getting to the menus, you'll see that you have 4 different user groups that you belong to. The one that we're interested in right now is the Data Administration Data Administrator. When you click on it, there's a little box that goes around it, and the color changes. The colors match the particular user group that you're working in, and these are the menus that change depending on which user group you choose. Right now, I want you to click on number 2, the user menu, and I want you to click on the user form, and we're going to make it so that you can log in under whatever you want to log in as. I'm going to go ahead and click Edit, highlight up in here, backspace, and put in 1, 2, 3, 4. You can choose whatever you wish. And then go down here to password, which is presently 9999. Is that 4 nines? And I'm going to highlight that and put 1, 2, 3, 4 as your password, and we're going to save it. Now that didn't fix the your name, because that is over in the entity file. And the way we can fix that is we will right click on the text box that has the 999 and click View, and that will open up the entity form. I'll move it down, and you can see here is your name. So we're going to edit this, and I'm just going to put in Joe tab Blow and save it and close it, and you'll see that up here it's been updated to Joe Blow. So now we can close it, We'll log out. We'll log in as E1234 with a password of 1234. Tab, accept. There's the name, Joe Blow. You're in with your name, hopefully. Click continue, and you're right back to the menus where you were. If you ever wonder who you are, you can type in who, and it'll tell you up in the status area, hello to you, and your name, Joe Blow. That concludes this portion of the demonstration. Thank you for taking the time to view this video on installing the evaluation file of ADS. If you haven't already watched the Introduction to the Advanced Development Shell, video 1001, now would be a good time to do so. You can learn some of the basics of using the ADS by watching video 1002 and following along with the Fred Flintstone demo.